Hello, this is the first edition of Netstock's new podcast called The Pit Stop. And this is the channel team for Netstock. Hi, I'm Laynie Coleman. I've been with Netstock for about 2.5 years, but I've been in this channel for a long time. We're not going to mention years today, but history goes back to the Great Plains software days, Microsoft, worked with Sage and Acumatica and NetSuite across different companies within the channel. So it's great to have you guys here, and I'd like to turn it over so Moriah can introduce herself.
Hi everyone, Mariah Flynn. I've been at Netstock for almost 4 years. I'm newly into the channel. Before coming into the channel, I was on the customer success team, actually implementing Netstock directly with our customers. So super excited to be here today and kick off our first podcast, and I'll pass it to Vaughn.
Hi, everybody. My name is Vaughan Proctor. I have been with Netstock for 12 years now, so been around for a very long time in different roles. Started out in channel in South Africa. That's why I have this weird accent. And now I've come full circle and doing channel management in the US region. Yeah, and this is our podcast, the Netstock Partner Pit Stop. Lots of P's in that. So I have really bad connection. I can just see that I'm jittering again, right? So
Yep, you're glitching,
welcome to
but it's
Mexico.
okay. We'll keep plugging forward. That's what you struggle with in Mexico, but we'll see if it gets really bad. We'll try to do some things and fix that, Vaughn.
No
So
worries.
thanks for the introductions team. And I tell you what brought us here is some really, really exciting stuff that Netstock has experienced. And I just want to talk a little bit about the most recent announcement with surpassing the 1 millionth inventory recommendation mark. And I tell you what, that's a lot of feedback that our product has given our customers. And so I just kind of want to toss that out there and talk with you guys about why that's so important and how it affects our partners and customers. So, Moriah, you said, you've done implementations and you've worked with our customers. So if you want to give kind of your thoughts on that, on why
Mhm.
that's such a big milestone and the
Yeah.
announcement that we just sent.
Yeah. So this milestone is huge for the business. Our opportunity engine was sort of our first step into building AI into the platform. And our journey with AI is very focused on user enablement and delivering opportunities that lead towards some type of action, right? So I'm an end user. I'm not just getting AI that's giving me a summary of information I already know. I'm getting that plus what I can actually do to help mitigate risk within my supply chain. So it's really been a game changer in terms of adoption, education on supply chain best practices for our users. Um, and then we actually just got a stat that says every 90 seconds, we deliver a new opportunity to one of our 2,400 customers. So it really just,
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's a
I
lot.
know, it really just paints the picture on how businesses really are adopting AI into their everyday business.
Hmm.
And that is incredibly important with all of the supply chain disruption and complexity that businesses are trying to work through. So, huge milestone for the business.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah, I
Juan,
think
I know you calculated a few things, so want to hear
yeah,
your feedback too on that.
I'll see if I can roll those things off my tongue this time without making mistakes. But I think the stats were like
The
70, 75.
mathematician.
75% of those opportunities were worth over $40,000 dollars in value. So that would be $40,000 worth of cash tied up in excess inventory, or $40,000 worth of uh, potential lost sales based on stockouts or potential stockouts. So the majority of those
And
opportunities.
that was, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it was like 75 or 80% of our customer base had gotten that value, at a minimum, that value out of it.
Yeah, so
And
I
that's
mean,
huge.
if they action that, that there's a really big impact. Just one of those opportunities could be a really big impact on the business, you know. I think
Yeah.
that was, to Mariah's point, what we were trying to do with AI. There was a lot of hype when we started this back in 2023 about AI, and we wanted to go back to our roots, which was how do we get something that is um, that's going to help small and medium-sized businesses operationally be very effective. And that was always the idea with Netstock, and that an opportunity engine does exactly that, you know. So a huge opportunity for people to optimize their inventory and run leaner businesses and free up cash and increase sales. And that was the main focus of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've been here for a long time, and just looking at, why our AI is different. I think you mentioned it in a call one time, that we were on. Can you kind of dig into that a little bit more on, our focus on the customer, and why our AI is a little bit different?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of hype around AI going out there and figuring out, as far as your demand planning is concerned, uh, you know, getting more accurate at forecasting and that type of stuff. But there's a lot of unknown variables in that, and the demand planning and forecasting is one of the areas definitely that AI can help. It was something that was very uncertain, and we didn't want to delve into that straight away. So we were looking for things that we could do that was very practical for customers to use, because that's really been our success, is really in those small and medium-sized businesses, going from spreadsheets into something that could help them be very effective in their business very quickly. And that was the focus behind the opportunity engine when we started. So we were very deliberate in how we implemented the generative AI, what we taught it to do, and the results that we wanted to come back, suggestions that would help customers be more effective in their business. And that's what it does.
Awesome. So like really kind of the practical stuff that customers need.
Yeah, everyday operational stuff,
Mhm.
tactical stuff that the demand planners and buyers in the business would need to action on a daily basis. Like where
Love that.
can it, what do I need to have a look at to make sure that we're running as lean a business as possible, with maximum amount of sales or maximum availability of inventory to our customers.
Yeah, and it goes back to the reason why we're here, why the product is here, is that we're really focused on making small and medium businesses have their lives easier with the tools that, most enterprise companies have right at their hand. And so, we want to make sure that they have the same thing. They're dealing with the same issues, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
definitely.
Mariah, I think you had mentioned, we talk a lot, by the way, you guys, as a team. And so I know on a call, Mariah mentioned that the outcomes are like actionable, or like actionable insights or something to that matter. Can you talk a little bit about that too?
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll be able to show it here in a second when I look at take you guys through the opportunity engine itself. But I think what's important about the opportunity is it's not just telling you the item and it's not just telling you what status it's in. It's also going to highlight the impact to the business, and then it will round out the opportunity with what you actually need to go and do. So I've trained plenty of teams on Netstock, and it's always that last piece that really takes teams sort of above and beyond when they're bringing on technology, which is
Mhm.
actually understanding what the tool is telling them to do. So now you have your opportunity engine, you're getting the insight in a click of a button, but you're automatically equipped with what you need to go off and do to go ahead and manage that item properly. So I used to be a buyer. Buyers have 100,000 things that they're trying to do every single day. And
Mhm.
historically, they're spending a lot of time, not just, spending a lot of time trying to figure out, okay, here are my items, where are they at? What is the issue? What open transactions do I have? And so now Netstock is bringing that all together for you and automatically going to tell you what you need to go off and do so you can move through those opportunities very, very quickly and spend more time doing strategic work for your business. So it's
Oh, that's
huge.
amazing. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I mean, doing that strategic work is able to help the company move to where they want to be, right? Versus all of the, you know, more um, inefficient things that they're probably doing today. So,
Yeah, and
oh,
efficiency really is key for the business, especially just like on an everyday basis, right? We want to execute and faster, smarter, and better. But like I
hmm.
mentioned before, as the complexity goes up, businesses really can't afford to spend too much time on planning because things are incredibly dynamic. So the faster you can get the insights and the faster you can execute, the better you can move through that disruption with Netstock.
I love that. Well, I kind of want to see this. I don't know, Vaughn, you
Should
want to see
we
it
get
in
into
action?
it?
I think
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, we can get
yeah.
into it. Let's have a look at the opportunity engine.
I
All
mean, I was
right.
never a buyer, but Mariah, you understand this stuff, and so I want to see what
I
you're.
was a buyer and I wish I had Netstock. So, all right, you guys can see it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So we are in Netstock right now. I'm on my opportunity engine. And so I'm going to go ahead and just dive right into it. So the work process every day for an end user is to go into these opportunities. You do have the ability to put filters on opportunities, which will make a little bit more sense once we review it. But you can filter on specific statuses if you just want to see items that are overstocked or understocked. You can put those filters on here. You can filter on specific locations. If you're responsible for a certain location, you can go ahead and put a filter on it. I'll put one on just for fun. And then the last option here are the different groupings. So these are attributes that are pulled out of your ERP, like product line, product type. I think buyers are a really great example of how businesses can use attributes in real time with the opportunity engine. So I'm a buyer, I'm going to go ahead and filter on my name so I can work through my own opportunities, and then my colleagues see their opportunities as well. But let's go ahead and hit the show me button so we can work through this opportunity. So again, I noted the structure before, but I'm going to note it again. The opportunity is going to start off by giving you the item itself and the location it's in. This is a hyperlink to the item inquiry screen, which is all of the really great information at the item level that you might need to dive into this item. So this specific good has 20 units on surplus orders. And so a surplus order is essentially excess that hasn't arrived yet. So it's an opportunity because you can do something about this, possibly. It's telling you that you have 20 units that are about to come in and contribute to the excess stock of the business. And then we'll tell you what the cost of the excess is going to be once it arrived, right? So this is going to be $34,000 worth of excess stock. And we're not anticipating that you're going to sell these goods. Okay. And then in the very last sentence, like I said, that's where the action comes into play. If possible, delay those orders or cancel them completely, right? We all
Yep.
know how impactful excess stock is to our business, especially now more than ever. When we talk about capacity and cash flow, we do not want to continue to contribute to any excess stock. So, as an end user, I have what I need to go back, open up this order, call up my supplier, and say, hey, possibly cancel it or at least put it into the future so we're not contributing to the excess in the short term and get that inventory in when we're actually going to sell it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like the
So,
future excess that it's on its
Mhm.
way, right? And if we can do something about that before we actually have to pay for it and it ties up cash and sits in our warehouse, then that's amazing.
mhm.
$34,000 dollars worth of cash back in the business, back in the bank. So yeah, you can see
Yeah,
the
that's a
impact of
huge
that on the
impact.
business. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's for the one, that's just one product, right?
Yeah, just one opportunity in the business. And
Hmm.
the
Mhm.
the engine will go and find the biggest opportunities across the business, so not just one item in one location, but across the whole business. Where can we find the biggest opportunities that have the biggest impact on the business, so that you can make that impact very quickly and very easily, as a
So it
buyer.
prioritizes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. As a buyer, to have this type of information, if you've got 5 minutes in the day to work on one opportunity, that's the kind of result that you can get. That's the ROI that you can get.
hmm Yeah, it's all about that proactive decision making, right? Like if I don't know that this is occurring, I can't catch it before it comes in, right? But
Right.
now that I know that it's happening, I can more easily try to push it out or possibly cancel it. So this is just one example, which is a surplus order. But opportunities are also served for all of these different statuses. So I think understocked is a really great example. Obviously, stockouts are incredibly impactful to the business in terms of possible lost sales and customer loyalty. So here's another example of an item that we're predicting a stock out on. We will deliver the exact date that we anticipate the stock out to occur, and also we'll track the lost sales. So for this specific item, we're tracking lost sales of 177 units to the value of $30,000. Okay, impact in terms of lost sales. And what's really great about Netstock is we track all of the open transactions. That's how we know when items are possibly going to stock out. And there's already a purchase order open for 656 units, but it's not going to arrive in enough time. Okay. So what it's asking you to do is to try to bring forward or expedite this purchase order so you don't stock out of this good. Again, it's all about that proactive decision making. As a buyer, I think, oh, I already have it on order, so hopefully it comes in enough time or maybe we're good. But Netstock
Right.
actually gives you that info.
Yeah,
Sure, it'll
another.
validate or tell you, gosh, you really need to spend the extra shipping to expedite it or what have you, right?
Yeah, and sometimes it'll say things like, even if you buy a lesser amount at a higher price, as long as it's less than X amount, and it'll give you that price, it would still be worth doing, depending on whether it's an important item in the business. There's a lot of things that it considers. It also has a look across different locations, so that if you have excess of that item in another location, it might recommend that you redistribute from another location, rather than purchase from the supplier. So it's really using all the information that it pulls out of the ERP to not only give you insight to what's going on, but give you recommendations on what to do.
And think about if you were doing this without the opportunity engine, how much time it would take to dig through either your ERP information, a spreadsheet, talking to other people. I mean, the time that it saves is just
Yeah,
amazing,
hours and maybe days just
right?
to be able to recognize one opportunity like this if you don't have.
Mhm.
And that's the beauty of AI, is that we can pull this information together out of your ERP and instantly give you all of this information. And obviously it changes every day as things, purchase orders come in, sales go through, everything, transactions happen in the ERP. These things happen on the fly. We analyze what's going on and we give you the latest recommendation on what to do.
Yeah. It makes sense to me now when I hear that our customers are going to the opportunity engine first when they start their day versus maybe the dashboard because it's telling them here are the things you need to focus on now.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense when you see this in action.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
one of the other things that we've done in Netstock is we've been doing research since the Opportunity Engine started on the AI usage in Netstock. We have a benchmark report. We've got a new one coming up in 2025. Last year, we tracked that only 23% of our SMB customers were making use of AI. That's increased to nearly 50% this year. So don't tell anybody, but I know that stat already before the benchmark report comes out. But there's
I
been a
was
huge.
thinking that. I was like, oh,
You
he's got
guys are
the
getting
inside
insider
scoop.
Yeah, yeah,
information.
yeah.
All right.
We'll
We're
discuss
bringing
that
you the
benchmark.
scoop.
We'll discuss that benchmark report when it comes out in another podcast. But that's a significant increase in people adopting the AI, which just shows that we're getting it right. our customers are using more AI capabilities in Netstock and obviously making use of these opportunities.
I can't wait to see the new stat, it increase from that 90-second mark to, however many it'll change to. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, that's doubling. Love it. Love it. All right. Moriah, what else do you have to show us? Is that is that about it? I don't want to step over the awesome demo time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll keep it at the opportunity engine for today. And
Perfect.
we have some other AI built in, so we can always review that in a separate podcast. Like I said before, this is sort of our phase one approach to AI. And Netstock has released some recent functionality that is inspired by the opportunity engine, but kind of takes it one step further. And so that's what Netstock's journey with AI has always been. But to Vaughn's point, it's really about enabling end users to execute with precision. So I'll go ahead and pass it back over.
Love that. Well, I think to wrap it up, Vaughn, I'm just going to ask you to talk a little bit about, why this is important to our partners and customers. And, you had brought up the benchmark report. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about that, and then we can be done for our first episode.
Yeah, so the benchmark report we started last year in 2024. We're about to release the next one in 2025, and obviously we'll do one every year. But it's really to measure, we're lucky enough to have data from over 2,400 customers worldwide. And we can look at that data regionally. We can look at things like lead time, supplier performance, industry specific information. And we're starting to use this information to not only create these benchmark reports for people to compare where they are, but we're looking at in the future using that data in our AI capabilities as well. Is there any information or any insights that we can glean from the information that we have from all of our customers that will again enable them to manage their inventory better? So are there any trends that we see and anything that we can deliver through our AI capabilities? As Moriah said, we've added more AI and we will be doing more in the future. So keep your eyes peeled. But yeah, here's to a million of these opportunities served up so far. And hopefully, the next million are going to help our customers even more.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to Netstock's Pit Stop, and we'll catch you at the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.